Okay, so here we go on my road trip from Texas to California and points beyond. As you can see, I've got 0 miles on the trip counter. Don't mind the check engine light. That will probably come up later. And I have 261,307 miles on this truck. And I'm probably going to do about at least 3,000 miles. Probably more like 4 to 5, depending on how everything goes. So here we go. I'm not going to record the whole drive, but this is the first leg of it right here. Our first official stop on the road trip was near Austin to have lunch with my daughter-in-law and my youngest grandson. And then we just stopped at REI to pick up our national park pass. It's good for a year. So now we're gonna stop at as many parks as we can and get my money back, because this little sucker was 80 bucks. So next stop is going to be Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. We'll see you there. 600 miles so far. I got this cool sunrise or sunset in front of me and a full moon in the mirror. Texas sunsets, pretty hard to beat. It's 5:30 in the morning here in New Mexico, and I just want to take a second and get a picture or a video of this full moon. It's pretty impressive. Get him, Jake. Get him, Jake. Get him. Get him, Jake. Get him, Jake. Get him, Jake. Stupid dog. Yesterday I drove 801 miles total from Dallas area down to the Austin area and then over into New Mexico. And now I am heading up the hill to go to the caverns. So hopefully, from what I hear, that's pretty cool. So let's see what happens. Pretty cool scenery here, at least if you're a fan of the desert, because it's God's country. Only the tough survive here. Trees are overrated. Recording this in here is like recording the Grand Canyon. It doesn't do any justice. This place is crazy. You can see all the stalactites up there. But this room is probably 40 feet tall, and I can't see that end from here or the other end. This looks like something from Disneyland, just way better. Whoever dug this thing out did a great job. don't know if you can see him very well, but that's a couple people standing right there. Crazy. The other end of the big room. That's how many feet down the elevator's coming. I don't know how you feel about the desert, but I absolutely love it. No stupid trees getting in the way of the view, and only the toughest plants survive here, and animals. Once you're a desert rat, you're always a desert rat. This is not snow, this is sand. I'm at the White Sands National Park in New Mexico now. This is a trip. I didn't even know this place exists. Supposedly it's thousands of acres of white sand. That's why they call it White Sands National Park. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna get out in a minute and go explore, see what kind of trouble I can find. They weren't very original with the name of this park. Okay, so I just totally screwed up. I thought I made another video of me walking out here to check this out from the truck over there, but apparently I didn't. So here we are. Jake's checking it out. This is, like I said, White Sands National Park in New Mexico. This place is crazy. It's white sand as far as you can see. And the ranger told me not to get out of sight of my truck or a bathroom or some sort of landmark, because I guess you can easily get disorientation. I don't know what the word is, but this place is weird. It's just totally just white sand. It's not even hot at all. I'm not worried about Jake. He's clearly not being affected by any heat on it. but it's pretty badass out here. This loop that we drove on is about 5 miles, and it's pretty cool. You should come check it out. So we made it to our next stop, which happens to be the Grand Canyon. It's pretty popular here. That's why I'm sitting over here by myself. We barely made it here. The truck almost died on me, and I was able to limp it into town, and now I have to get it about 60 miles to the next auto parts store, unless there's one closer. And then I'm gonna get it to Vegas, which will be our next stop before California. I don't know if you can hear that squirrel in the background, but it probably sounds like my smoke alarm is out of batteries. Little Grand Canyon humor for you. What do I have in common with the Grand Canyon? We've both been called big assholes more than once.
Il a pas son chapeau là, mais il en a acheté un, ouais.
You people.
Non, c'est avec le cheval. Non, c'est le. En réalité, c'est le truc touristique pour la photo de John Wayne. C'est super connu là-bas. Et en plus, c'est un indien, c'est. I think there's a hammer all there, isn't there?
I think so.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Recently, I've been in some pretty cool places. Been in some pretty deep holes, and this time, I'm above the earth. That's the Hoover Dam, just south of Las Vegas. Last time I was here, the bridge that I'm standing on right now didn't even exist. So this is kind of weird. Never held onto a phone this hard in my life. I have no idea how high we are. I really don't even like heights. Look at me. I don't know if you can see the people walking across the dam there. It's a big old mother. All right, I'm off to Vegas now. I just had to stop here and check this out. There it is, the Devil's Butthole, AKA Las Vegas. Good morning from Dante's View, somewhere inside of the Death Valley National Park. I think I'm technically in California again, finally. It's a really cool view with all these mountains in the distance. Yeah, tons of them. But that's not the view that we are here for. This is it. This is Death Valley. And it just goes on forever. Where I'm standing is 5,000 feet above sea level. And then this little spot right down there is like 300 feet below sea level. And that range right across there is 11,000 feet above sea level. It's pretty cold up here right now. It's kind of windy. Been up here for a couple hours waiting for the sun to come up. It's kind of cool to see it across the valley. It's really quiet here.
Well, it's time for me to move on to my next stop, which I haven't even figured out where that is yet. Somewhere cool, I hope. I just drove about 30 miles around this mountain to get down here to Badwater, the lowest point on Earth, I believe. That's sea level right there. And about 30 minutes ago, I was standing somewhere up there, recording, looking down here. So this is kind of cool. I see why they call this Death Valley. There's nothing growing down here the whole way here, not just in the lake bed. It's just a suggestion. It is much warmer down here than it was up there at the top. Apparently they don't want you digging on the salt. Sorry about all the sniffles, I have a cold. I'm glad I beat the sun across this valley. I have a feeling it's gonna get hot down here pretty quick. This ground is hard. It looks like it's really crunchy and crispy, but it's not. It's really hard. So I think I was standing like right up in here somewhere, up on the top, but I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. I can't see anybody up there. All right, one more look around. And I give you an idea of how big this place is. Those are actual size people. If you're in Death Valley and you see a sign that says Devil's Golf Course, how can you not go check it out? Let's go see where the devil likes to play golf. Yeah, this would be a pretty rough course to play, I'd imagine. I think it's a par 5,000. That's a golf joke. This is all salt. And it's hot like hell here. That's why the devil plays here. It's, I think, 8 o'clock in the morning right now. Pretty cool stuff though. All right, back to civilization. I keep forgetting to update you on the miles. I just hit 2,100 miles, and yep, the check engine light's still on. It only gave me trouble once so far, but we got it sorted out. And usually when I drive from Texas to California, it's about 1,800 miles, and that's from Sacramento to where I live in North Texas. I still have probably 700 miles to go just to get to Sacramento. So I've been going off course quite a bit, but it's been worth it. This is pretty cool. Looks like I might be heading into a little bit of a storm. Let the fun begin. anything happens, it's not my fault because there was no one here to tell me not to do this. So I'm off the hook. Well, that was fun. This was definitely a mistake. Volkswagen bus just went through that water and it's up to its headlights. And now Jake is freaking out because of the thunder. This morning we're at Hesperia, California. I stopped in where I grew up and was hanging out for the weekend with some friends and attending the rodeo at Hesperia Days. I was too busy having fun hanging out with them to record anything, but it was, you know, rodeo stuff. Bulls and cows and horses and all the good stuff that rodeos do. But just about to hit the road now and on to the next stop, to points beyond. Our current situation is we got to Sequoia National Park last night, a little bit too late to do anything, so we just slept here, and we're gonna head up right now and look at some big old trees. We are currently at 2,727 miles, and yes, the check engine light is still on, and I have approximately 200 more miles to go from here to my final destination in Sacramento, which means that I have driven, or will have driven, about 900 extra miles on all these little adventures I've gone on so far. And so yeah, we've been
We've been in the truck for a while, and this is our 7th day on the road, and typically it takes about 2.5 days to get to Texas from California. So let's go check out some trees. Apparently this is a large rock that was laying here, and they dug out underneath it to create this tunnel, thus creating Tunnel Rock. Pretty clever with the names. The scenery at Sequoia National Park does not disappoint. It's pretty cool here. On our way up to the trees, you can see the road that we have to wind up through the canyons. It's a long, slow drive. But another thing that I can't help but appreciate as a contractor is this rock work on these walls. This wall here is probably at least 1/4 mile long. Look at those corners. Look how flat that is. Come on. Look at that. And then this one right here goes up along the road there as far as I can see from here. I mean, if you can't appreciate that, I don't know what else to tell you. I can't not appreciate it. All right, here's some more scenery. This is the valley we came up through. I don't know if you can see it way down in there. There's the road. All right, I'm gonna get back on the road now. Go see some trees. There are some giant trees here in the giant forest. I can't even get them all on the screen. And then there's this beast, General Sherman. I'm probably about 60 feet away from it right here. I say we cut it down and count the rings. Who's with me? Apparently it's almost 40 feet across at the base. You can pause this and read this if you want. Moving on. Check this out. Now we're at Panoramic Peak. I think I'm in Sequoia still, but this is overlooking Kings Canyon National Park. And that lake down there, Zach, is Hume Lake. All right, we came, we saw, we're gonna head on to the next one now. I just spent about 11 days in Sacramento visiting as many people as I could.
and doing some work. And now we're about 4 hours north at Lassen Volcanic National Park. It's kind of wild how the fire burned only this side of the road, and it burned as far as I can see. Come on, Jake. So we're gonna head more into the park and see what it has to offer. And I guess I will report back to you later. Jake, come. All right, here we go. I think I'm up about 7,000 feet elevation. And I'm still in California, and I just cannot believe that there's not a handrail around this rock. That's very unsafe. Somebody could get hurt. Pretty cool view though. We came up from down there. Not even sure if you can see the road in here. There it is. Apparently it turns out that I am the only guy that I know that has a dog that is afraid of heights. So Jake is sitting in the truck right now because he's a sissy. This definitely isn't Texas. I'm not even sure if you can hear me very well because it's pretty windy up here. And there's a bunch of people yapping over here. I guess they don't understand silence is golden. Good morning from Northern California coast. Figured we'd take a break and check out the beach. I've already had about enough fun here, so we'll be moving on pretty soon. Come on, Jake. Jake. Go. Come on, Jake. Jake. Go. Go. Looks like we got some elk here.
One more quick roadside stop in the Jedediah Smith Redwood Forest. It's more like the Enchanted Forest. Not going in there. Welcome to Oregon. Just got here to Crater Lake. Let's see what all the hype is about. I'm just playing with you. I've been here before. Super cool. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here at Crater Lake, and not another person around. And I'm about to do the dumbest thing I think I've done yet on this road trip. I'm going to walk this 1.1 mile down to the water's edge, and it drops 700 feet in 1 mile. I am not prepared for this at all. I have one water bottle and no one to rescue me if there's a problem. So let's see what could possibly happen. It's been about 15 minutes now, and I think I'm about halfway down. The closer you get to this water, the more blue and clear it gets. So I'm looking forward to this walk being over. But yeah, it's quite a hike. So quiet out here. Nothing out here but me and the mountain lions and cougars that could easily kill me. So that's a good feeling. All right, let's continue on. Getting closer. Like I said, the water just keeps getting bluer and bluer, if that's even a word. But apparently I'm not supposed to stop here on the trail because they say that it's a rock slide area. So I should probably continue on and get out of this whole section before this is the last spot I was ever found. All right, I made it down to the water's edge. Little crawdad came to see what's going on. They say that this is the cleanest lake in the world. They don't want anything getting in this water. They don't even like people swimming in it, but you are allowed to. And my friend Brandon dared me to get in it without daring me. By telling me that he got in it, that means he's daring me to get in it. So let's see what we got here. Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Brendan wins. Oh my God. Yesterday it said that the water temperature was 58 degrees. I don't know how cold it is right now, but it is cold. So quiet here right now. I can hear a crow off in the distance making noise, but that's it. I feel like just my voice is echoing across this whole lake. There's definitely at least one fish in here. Oh, there's another little tiny one there. This one's probably 10 or 12 inches long. One last shot from down by the water before I head back up. Now that the sun is up, it's changing the scenery underneath the water, making stuff more visible and making it really, really look deep. And now that the sun is up, the bathroom solar system is starting to work, so it's making a little bit of noise. That's pretty cool. They put bathrooms down here so guys like Justin won't piss in the water. But this place, I know I've recorded a lot of this place, but it's probably my favorite stop that I've made so far. It's going to be hard to beat. It's just amazing, especially if you walk down to the water. So worth it. I'd love to stay all day, but I got to get going. I still have several thousand miles to go before I get back to Texas. Got to go see those grandkids. All right, I'm heading back up. Oh my God. I was walking up the trail right here and I looked up and right in front of me was a freaking cougar. I didn't know what to do. I just froze. I just kind of stepped off the trail because I wasn't going to run back down and try and get away from it. So I just moved over. She was a big one. She walked right past me. And as she did, she stopped and she said, "Hey, my name's Sharon. What's your name?" I said, "Sharon, I do not have the energy for you right now. I gotta go." And just like that, she was gone. Man, it is so true what they say about cougars. You don't know where they are or when they're gonna come, but man, I will never let my guard down again when I'm out on the trail. Whew. I'm just screwing with you. I'm almost out of here. It is a tough trail though. Good thing I'm in peak physical condition. I'm like that Australian breakdancer. Can't stop me. All right, that's it from Crater Lake. I guess since I'm driving along the Oregon coast, I should include some of the Oregon coast in this video. Not exactly sure what the allure is for women in the beach, but I've had about enough already.
Okay, back on the road. I'm officially in Mount Rainier National Park now. Figured I'd stop and check out the waterfall. This is the first one I've seen on my trip. Apparently there's a 300-foot tall one somewhere up in that valley, but I don't have 4 hours to hike to it. So I'm gonna keep moving on and see what else I can find. It's beautiful here. Does anybody remember the old Mount Rainier beer ads? The guy riding on the motorcycle? Or is it just me? Look how deep that pool is. There she is, Mount Rainier. Texas should buy one of these. They could really use a mountain. Once again, the pictures don't do it justice. Narada Falls. I'm in between Coulee City and the Coulee Dam in Washington. This landscape's pretty cool. I've been driving through this canyon for a long time. I could have recorded hundreds of hours of landscape and 1,000 pictures of cool scenery, but I just don't have time, and this video would be 10 months long. So all right, Jake's done eating, done pooping. We're gonna get back on the road. We've come a little bit further up the canyon now, and it's kind of opened up even wider than it was before. It's really cool. I don't know what you think, but I think these gorges are gorgeous. Pretty cool landscape.
Grand Coulee Dam in Washington, to be exact. Supposedly, word on the streets is that this is the 8th wonder of the world, and I don't know anything about that, but it is pretty damn big. It was built by the Egyptians in 1743, and yeah, it's definitely huge. I guess this big huge bank of lights here is used to do a light show on the face of the dam from Memorial Day until the end of September. And here it is, the beginning of October, so of course I missed it because of my lack of planning and scheduling skills. But another cool fact is this light system was built by Benjamin Franklin, and he put this in a few years after it was done. So that's kind of cool. A lot of history here. A lot of history here. So far, Montana ain't too bad. Well played, Montana. Very well played indeed. I've been in Montana for maybe 2 hours now, and I've been following this river for quite a while. This is probably the clearest river I've ever seen. It's so cool here. And of course I'm parked in the shade, so you can't even see the water, the clarity of the water. Come on, Texas, you could use one of these too. I see why they call this Big Sky. This is Flathead Lake, Montana, in Montana. This is the lake that flows down that river that I was following along the highway earlier today. As you can tell, this lake is just massive. It's really blue and clean too. October 10th, Northern Lights from Glacier National Park. This is a great viewing spot because it literally covers the entire sky. I've never experienced this before. It's cool. It keeps changing every few minutes too. It's like a sunset. What's really weird is if you look at it with just your naked eye, it just looks like city lights in the sky, just white. But through the camera, it shows the red and the greens and all the other colors. I just completely turned around 360 degrees to show you the colors are just everywhere here. And this is just straight up above me. So cool. I may not sound excited, but this is really cool. I thought the light show was done, but now it started moving. Dude, this is getting crazier and crazier. What the hell? I don't know if you can see it very well or not, but the lights are like dancing across the sky. What? Last night was the Northern Lights show, and today we're driving through the park and just had to stop and check out the fall colors that are starting to change here and this clear river. The ocean can suck it. Rivers and lakes, that's where it's at, especially in the mountains. Even the rocks here are cool. Purple. So far, Montana and Glacier National Park are my favorite. It's going to be hard to beat. Yes, Jake is still with me. I haven't left him anywhere by the road or anything like that. I know some of you are wondering. Montana said hold my beer when it came to scenery. Get out of here, Prius. Logan Pass. Look at those cute little cars over there. Come on, Montana, this is enough already. How much more can there be? Even the clouds here are cool. And this is St. Mary Lake. I'm pretty sure I'm still in Glacier National Park, but I don't know. Got a little wildfire action over here on the hill. If it didn't get like 15 feet of snow average here in Montana, it'd be somewhere to consider moving. Ah, dang. "360 degrees of Montana." These are some of the hot springs at Yellowstone. We just rolled in a few minutes ago. It stinks here really bad.
All these terraces are pretty wild. Not many people know that this was all built by Walt Disney in the early 1900s. That bird is getting on Minerva. This is the first male I've seen. He looks pretty friendly. I think I'm gonna go pet him. Oh, even better. I've never wanted to watch something more in my life. These people are probably, the closer ones are probably about 20, 25 feet away from that thing. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get closer. Udine Falls. You could totally hide a body down there. I think I found the beginning of where they filmed that documentary about Yosemite with Kevin Costner. It's somewhere around here. I'll find it.
Very nice to enjoy your Saturday. Good luck with your new trip. Thank you. I love it. Okay.
And now I have to beat all of these people out of here.
Bye.
We've officially made it out of Yellowstone Park and into Grand Teton National Park. What a long, strange trip it's been. Jackson Lake, Wyoming, Grand Teton National Park. You could flip this picture over and not know if it was upside down or not. Well, we stayed outside of Grand Tetons Park last night. One reason was so I could get a cool picture and some video of these mountains, the Tetons. And, well, the clouds took over that thought. So you'll just have to imagine really cool, sharp mountains. So back on the road. Here we go. This place is called Hell's Half Acre. And not really sure why, but it's pretty cool. It's a lot bigger than half an acre. It sucks because everything I'm recording is not gonna get any justice by this little camera without you being able to see it in person. But now you can say you've seen Hell's Half Acre. It's kind of weird though because this whole place kind of wraps around this three-sided fenced area that's about half an acre. I want to think that that's what they're talking about, but I don't know. We're in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming. Between between somewhere and Douglas, Wyoming. Just literally on the side of the highway, sign said Hell's Half Acre. You know, had to figure out what real estate in hell was like, so here we are. Oh, this side's pretty cool too. This is the complete other side of the fenced area. That's pretty cool. Take a drink every time I say cool, or pretty cool, or cooler, or really cool. I was on my way to Mount Rushmore and saw a sign for the Devil's Tower. Figured I'd take a turn because somebody told me I should come check it out. And it's really big. Not sure if you can see those people right there, but that gives you an idea how big this thing is. Hopefully they don't knock another one of these rocks down. I don't feel like running from it. This thing looks more like a devil's tree trunk than a tower to me, but I wasn't on the committee to name these things, so I guess it shall stay. I just finished walking the 1.5-mile little nature trail around the base of this monster, and you know, psyching myself up, I could climb this thing, no problem. It's only 867 feet high. Somebody had started climbing it at 11 o'clock this morning, and they were finishing at the top at 6 o'clock. You know, 7 hours. But the trail has little signs all the way around it, little nature signs that tell you all the stuff you need to know about it. And the very last sign said what's on top of this. And it showed pictures, and it said there are even snakes up there. So I do not need to climb this thing any longer. The snakes can live in peace up there. I will not bother them. There it is, Mount Rushmore. The 4 presidents. Did you know that they're actually planning on putting Trump's head out here on the left side? They're going to start working on that in the next year or so. Kind of a cool auditorium backdrop to have the 4 presidents up there on the mountain. This is way cooler than Deadwood. And we also went through Sturgis. Sturgis, there's not much going on there when there's not 100,000 bikers there. So I kind of enjoyed it. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Mount Rushmore is another little project that they've been working on since 1948, apparently. It is the Crazy Horse Monument. You probably guessed, it's pretty cool. It's all done by donations. No tax money, no government money, apparently. So that is interesting. It's quite a project. I don't know what he's pointing at over there, but maybe they're carving something over there too. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I showed up today, and I believe it is Native American Day here. So there's a lot of activities and speeches and stuff going on, and discussions about the heritage of the Native Americans. So seems like my timing is working out on a few things. That's always good. I stopped to get this sign on video, and I realized there's like 1,000 little prairie dogs trucking around out here. Now, of course, they're all sitting totally still. Let's see if we can flush them out. Alan! Alan! We are at Norbeck Pass in Badlands, South Dakota. I can't seem to get out of South Dakota. As far as I know, this road goes on for about like 20 something miles. And I've only recorded about a mile and a half of it. And then it's also kind of on both sides of the road and pretty much goes as far as you can see. So yeah, it's a big place. Just when you thought South Dakota didn't really have much, they've got some pretty neat places to go if you're into that nature stuff. I'll try to show you some of the other side of the truck. Forgive the dirty windows. It's impossible to keep the windows clean on a road trip like this. But like I said, it's as far as you can see, but just not as heavily saturated as the other side of the road. Let's get out of here. It is 5:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. I am in Cocker City, Kansas. I'm sure a lot of you know why that sounds familiar. That's because it is the home of the world's largest ball of twine. And there it is, right there. Definitely the biggest ball of twine I've seen, if you want to call it a ball of twine. I drove pretty much all night last night through Nebraska. Slept for a little bit over an hour till a cop came up and knocked on my window, and then I hit the road again and got here a little while ago. And here we are. I'll let you zoom in on that if you want to read the story behind it. Let's see it from the other side too. The world's largest ball of twine, supposedly. Darwin, Minnesota also claims to have the largest ball of twine, but that's 11 hours north of me right now, and I am not driving that far to go see another ball of twine right now. So we'll have to let them battle it out in the ball of twine wars. Have you ever wondered where the geographic center of the United States is? Yeah, me neither. If you have, though, it's in Lebanon, Kansas. I have to do this from the truck today because it's freaking cold here. It's It's freaking windy here, but it is pretty here. It's impressive how they figured this out in 1940 with their limited technology and equipment. I don't know if you can read that or not, but it is too windy to get out. It's actually blowing the truck around a little bit. Mushroom Rock State Park. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. It is a long ass drive to get here. A lot of that was on a dirt road. Hopefully I can get out of here a different route that's a little easier to drive. There's more rocks than just that, but they're on the other side of the road. And actually that vulture right there was nesting, or at least sitting on top of that rock there. I guess it's obvious why they call this Mushroom Rock Park. They resemble mushrooms. Sure. It's weird because this little mound of dirt, this hillside of dirt, seems to be where these rocks are buried in. And it doesn't look like they're anywhere else except for this one little stretch right here. So we've talked enough about me and the dog and the trip and everything. I'm going to introduce you to the real hero of this trip. 2003 Chevy Silverado 1500. She's a Butte, Clark. It now has 269,000 miles on the original engine and transmission. And for the first probably 100,000 miles of its life, it towed a box trailer, a work trailer for me every day when I was a contractor. Every single day. I like to keep it dirty so that it just keeps people guessing. And when I go on road trips, I like to pick up probably 300 pounds of metal for projects and then drive them around with me up on the rack for about, I don't know, 6,000 miles. It really helps in handling, especially on the curvy roads. Again, I like to keep the truck really dirty. But here it is. We just did over 8,000 miles in 21 days. And she's good to go. Throw a little more oil in it and coolant occasionally. My maintenance routine is non-existent, and that is why, in my belief, this is the greatest modern truck ever created. It won't stop. I've tried to kill it. I'm not even sure if it has oil in it right now. You can see that we've taken out many bugs and things on our trip. I don't know what that was, but that one was a big one. As my grandpa used to say, it takes a lot of guts to make a mess like that. I don't even know what else to say. I'm kind of speechless.